I found the game at a thrift store, and I noticed that it had a different title than I had originally remembered from when I was a kid. It was Don't Fear the Dark instead of No Need to Hide when it's dark outside. This oddity caused me to rush home and make a TikTok and YouTube short to see if anyone knew what was going on. One guy said that it was probably like a bootleg copy of it, which was weird to me because I looked at it and it had multiple stamps of Nintendo, like, certification. So I was like, do bootlegs have those? And then another person said that they never made Wii ports of the Humongous Entertainment titles. And I was like, well, that can't be true because I'm literally holding it, like, right here. So I popped it into my Wii U and grabbed my trusty Yoshi Wiimote and played through the game. Well, something felt off about the game. And maybe it's just because I'm older playing it and it doesn't have the same feeling as it did when I was a kid, but you would think that, like, it would still feel the same even replaying something due to nostalgia, but something felt off about the game. I can't really place it, but I didn't feel like it had any heart in it anymore. It just kind of felt soulless. Even though it's a direct port, there was just something off about it. And I can't really describe it. This just left me with more questions, so I took to the internet for answers. This is where stuff got crazy. So hang in there, boys and girls, we're in for a wild rabbit hole. I did find out that the Wii port was subject to a lawsuit. This intrigued me, so I dug deeper. It all started in 2008 when Atari decided they wanted to port the Humongous Entertainment titles to the Wii. So they contracted a company called Majesco to do the porting. Majesco then subcontracted the job to Mystic Software, which then assigned the task to their subsidiary, Mystic Soft. They wanted to use a program called ScummVM to help with the porting of the games. This is where all the mistakes started. When some of the ScummVM developers bought the Wii titles, there was one damning piece of evidence. They saw the graphical glitch in the Freddy Fish game, and luckily it happens at the very beginning of the game when they're reading the first, like, note in that game. You can see something in one of Freddy's eyes, and the developers instantly knew something was off about how the eyes looked. I can't tell. But, I mean, I don't really know what I'm looking for either. But they knew, and so then they broke down the code and they looked and they found a whole bunch of stuff and they realized that their engine or virtual machine had been used in the making of this game and not credited to them. I reached out to Atari, who denied the claims at first, and then they also reached out to some lawyers just in case they needed them, because they weren't sure if this was going to go to court or if they'd be able to settle this just with Atari, but they wanted to reach out to some lawyers that handled GPL violations just in case they needed them and saw what their rights were and what, steps they could take to get either some credit added to the game or something just to get their name out there, because that's all they wanted. They didn't want any money. They didn't want any extra stuff. They just wanted credit for their virtual machine being in the game. And their negotiations went better. Well, only for a little while. Once Atari's lawyers found out that using open source programs with the Nintendo Wii SDK was a violation of Nintendo's TOS, then things flared back up. Atari was ready to go to court, and the ScummVM team knew this would be a lengthy and expensive venture. So, in 2009, a settlement was made. Atari would donate to the Free Software Foundation, pay all the lawyer fees, and destroy all remaining copies of the 3 Humongous Entertainment titles: Pajama Sam Don't Fear the Dark, Freddy Fish and the Kelp Seed Mystery, and Spy Fox in Dry Cereal, thus concluding the Wii era of the Humongous Entertainment games. If you guys would like to read where I got all my information for this story, I will link all the sources in the description below. This rabbit hole led to an amazing story. I was still curious about why the name was changed, because Don't Fear the Dark isn't the title. It's No Need to Hide When It's Dark Outside. I thought this was a dead end until I found a Humongous Entertainment Discord, and I gave it one last try. Atari re-released these for the PC in 2007. They changed the names then, because you've got Don't Fear the Dark, Freddy Fish and the Kelp Seed Mystery, which was not the original title. Pajama Sam 2 was Thunder and Lightning. That wasn't the original title. And there was a bunch more. So they changed a bunch of them when they re-released them a year before this whole Wii debacle even started. There is one last thing that I need to cover. I found an article about this game that I want to clarify. The article said that the randomly generated feature wasn't in the Wii ports, but that is false. I replayed the game again, and while I only got one item to change places, it still changed. So the games are very much randomly generated, even on the Wii. And that's the untold story of Pajama Sam Don't Fear the Dark. Thank you guys for listening, and just remember, everything blue is awesome. Riga signing out.